She stares, you smirk, and she can't explain why she's bothered. That moment, it's pure sigma energy. So why do women get rattled when a man says nothing, holds his ground, and walks away like he owns the silence? Simple. Because silence, when used with purpose, is power, and sigma males, they've mastered it. Sigma males are the quiet rebels of the social hierarchy. Unlike alpha males who assert dominance loudly, sigmas assert it through subtlety. They don't need the spotlight, they the spotlight, and that's what throws people, especially women, off balance. In a world where attention often equals validation, a man who doesn't seek approval stands out. Sigmas challenge the unspoken social code. If you want to be liked, you have to engage. But instead of chasing attention, they create mystery by pulling back. It's human psychology. People want what they can't fully understand. When a woman encounters a sigma who doesn't conform, doesn't flatter, and doesn't react the way most men do, it triggers curiosity and sometimes frustration. What makes this more intense is how sigmas control the frame. They don't explain their silence, and that lack of explanation makes others project their own thoughts onto it. Some interpret it as confidence, others as arrogance, and some can't tell the difference, but it affects them. This is why sigma behavior feels so provocative. It flips the script. A man who owns the room with silence, not swagger, who chooses solitude over social validation, and who operates by his own code, he disrupts the norm. And disruption, that's both attractive and unsettling. So next time she stares and you smirk, remember, it's not just your looks. It's your silence, your presence, and your refusal to play by the usual rules. Number 1, the vanishing act, going ghost like a legend. Sigmas aren't the type to linger at the end of a party, giving long hugs and promises to catch up soon. One moment they're there, mysterious, calm, observing the room with sharp eyes. The next moment they are gone. No drama, no drawn-out goodbyes, just vanished like Batman disappearing into the shadows. To the average woman who's used to the usual signals, texts, goodnight messages, or closure, the sigma male's disappearing act is maddening. It's like reading a gripping novel only to find the last page missing. Why did he leave? Did something happen? She replays every moment, trying to decode his silence. But here's the twist. His silence, the message. Sigmas don't vanish to hurt or confuse others. They vanish with purpose. These men walk a different path. They're not driven by the need to explain themselves to people who haven't earned access to their inner world. They're deeply introspective. And when something feels off, whether it's the vibe of the room, the direction of a conversation, or even their own rising inner noise, they slip away to recharge. Research in psychology suggests that introverts and deep thinkers like sigma males need solitude to process thoughts and regulate emotions. It's not just preference, it's survival. And no, this isn't ghosting. Ghosting is avoidance rooted in fear or immaturity. Sigma males don't avoid, they master silence. It's an art form, a personal boundary, a declaration that their energy isn't for the taking. Think of it like this. Some people need to say goodbye to feel seen. Sigmas don't. They move in stealth, not for approval, but for alignment. Their disappearance is a recalibration of the soul, a quiet act of rebellion against a noisy, approval-hungry world. To many, this seems cold, but to those who understand the Sigma code, it's power, it's clarity, it's freedom. So the next time he vanishes without a word, don't panic, don't chase. Just know he's not lost. He's exactly where he needs to be, reclaiming his peace. Number 2, making eye contact like he's reading souls. Ever noticed how Sigma males don't casually scan a room like everyone else? They're not glancing around hoping to catch someone's attention. They wait. They observe. And when the moment is right, they lock eyes. Not often, but when they do, it's like being hit by an emotional X-ray. Women feel it instantly. That eye contact is intense, direct, and completely unshaken. It's not creepy, it's calculated. It doesn't say, I want you, it says, I you. Psychologists have long studied the power of eye contact. According to research from the University of Aberdeen, people are more likely to trust someone who maintains strong, steady eye contact. It builds connection, confidence, and even a sense of intimacy. But where most men may use eye contact as a flirty or submissive tool, Sigmas wield it differently. They don't overuse it. They wait until there's a reason. And when they look, it's with purpose. This is the difference. Most people avoid real eye contact because it makes them feel vulnerable. It's confronting. But Sigmas are comfortable in that space. Their gaze isn't for seduction, it's for clarity. It filters out the noise. It's as if their eyes ask the unspoken question, who are you beneath the mask? This makes others, especially those hiding behind social facades, uncomfortable. The Sigma gaze pierces through small talk, pretenses, and distractions. That unblinking attention unnerves people because it reflects a quiet strength. It says, I don't need to impress you, but I will understand you. And women, especially those who are used to superficial attention, notice the difference. They're drawn to that sense of being seen, not just looked at. It's rare, almost primal. Neuroscience even backs this up. Eye contact activates the social and emotional brain centers like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, which heighten emotional awareness and engagement. In short, when a Sigma male looks at you, you brain it. So next time you wonder why the room shifts when a Sigma enters, don't look at what he's doing. Look at his looking. That gaze isn't for dominance, it's for truth. And truth, as we all know, can be both unsettling and irresistible. Number 3, laughing in serious moments. Here's the deal. Sigma males process reality through a completely different lens. While others are emotionally entangled in the moment, Sigmas operate with a calm detachment. When tension rises, most people fidget, panic, or argue. But a Sigma, he might just chuckle, and not because he doesn't care, but because he sees through the chaos. That smirk during an argument or that grin in the middle of a heated moment, it's not arrogance, it's awareness. Sigmas have a rare ability to mentally step outside the situation and observe it without getting emotionally hijacked. This trait is actually linked to high emotional intelligence, particularly in self-regulation and self-awareness, two of the core components described by psychologist Daniel Goleman. Most people react based on triggers, ego-driven responses tied to pride, insecurity, or the need to be right. Sigmas see this as noise. They understand that much of what people stress over is performative, rooted in identity and social expectations. That's why drama doesn't hook them. They see the absurdity of ego battles and choose not to play along. This calm disrupts the expected emotional script, especially in relationships. Many women, conditioned by social norms to expect a man to either fight back or get flustered, don't know what to do with a Sigma's serenity. His detachment isn't passive aggressiveness, it's power. It forces others to confront their own emotional reactivity, and this can be unsettling. Women might find themselves questioning their behavior, wondering, why isn't he reacting? What they often don't realize is that the Sigma isn't suppressing emotion, he's transcending it. His peace comes from clarity, not coldness. Research also suggests that people who can remain calm under pressure tend to have better problem-solving skills and stronger leadership qualities. Sigmas embody this. They don't dominate a room by shouting, they command it by being the eye of the storm. So no, he's not mocking you, he's not trying to win. He's already free from the need to prove, to please, or to participate in pointless power struggles. And that freedom, it's rare, it's magnetic, and it disrupts everything people think they know about emotional power. That smirk, it's a mirror reflecting just how much noise we carry, and it's a quiet invitation to rise above it. Number 4, doing things alone on purpose. Sigmas go to the movies alone, dine alone, travel solo, not because they lack friends or social skills, but because they deliberately choose freedom over frenzy. In a world that constantly glorifies group dynamics and social validation, the Sigma male walks the road less traveled. Society often pushes the idea that fulfillment comes through constant connection. Friday night hangouts, couples dinners, weekend getaways with the crew. But Sigmas flip the script entirely. To the casual observer, this behavior might appear antisocial or even lonely, but for the Sigma, solitude isn't isolation, it's restoration. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies have shown that people who spend time alone voluntarily often demonstrate greater creativity, improved concentration, and deeper self-awareness. This isn't about hiding from the world, it's about engaging with it on your own terms. Women often find this behavior puzzling, sometimes even offensive. Why didn't he invite me? They wonder. They assume disinterest, rejection, or arrogance. But the truth is far more intriguing. The Sigma isn't rejecting anyone. He's selecting himself. He values his time, his space, and his mental clarity. That choice can feel both magnetic and maddening to others. There's a quiet strength in a man who can enjoy a table for one or a solo weekend retreat. It communicates confidence without performance. He's not trying to impress or fit in, he simply is. This makes the Sigma male a paradox. Distant yet desirable, mysterious yet grounded. This behavior also reflects emotional maturity. According to psychology, those who are comfortable being alone tend to have higher levels of emotional intelligence. They're not afraid of their thoughts. They know who they are without needing constant reassurance. So next time you see a man walking into a movie theater by himself or catching a flight with no travel buddy, don't assume he's lonely. He might just be a Sigma choosing solitude not as a backup plan but as a lifestyle of freedom, control, and peace. Number 5, he doesn't chase, he attracts. Here's the weirdest one. The Sigma male doesn't pursue, he pulls. And the wild part, he does it without even trying. No constant texting, no flashy outfits or exaggerated gestures, no manipulative games. He simply, authentically, unapologetically, and that quiet confidence becomes magnetic. Psychologically speaking, this taps into a well-documented principle. Scarcity increases value. The more inaccessible or independent someone appears, the more people are drawn to them. Sigmas don't chase approval or validation, traits that women, especially those used to being the center of attention, find both puzzling and strangely irresistible. Why isn't he into me, they wonder. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. The Sigma is on a mission. His focus is on personal growth, purpose and freedom, not performing for attention. He doesn't feel the need to constantly prove his worth or impress others. And that very lack of neediness signals high value. Research in social dynamics confirms that people are attracted to those who display autonomy and self-sufficiency. Women often interpret this calm detachment as emotional strength, something they rarely find in a world full of people trying too hard. This doesn't mean the Sigma is emotionless. On the contrary, he feels deeply, but he's selective. His energy is sacred. His time is currency. He's not interested in meaningless flings or desperate attention. He's not playing hard to get. He's hard to get because he respects himself too much to be easily won over. In fact, many Sigmas report being pursued more than they pursue. Why? Because their energy says, I don't need you to complete me. And ironically, that's what draws others in. The Sigma doesn't chase love. He attracts it by being whole on his own. And that, in a world full of attention seekers and approval hunters, is what makes him so rare and so hard to resist. Number 6, asking deep questions too soon. What do you fear most? Asked just 15 minutes into a first date. Classic Sigma male move. To the average person, it might seem abrupt, maybe even intense, but to a Sigma male, it's a strategic and authentic way to bypass the wasteland of small talk. While most people are still warming up with, where did you grow up, or what's your favorite movie, the Sigma is already deep diving into the raw core of who you really are. That's because Sigma males are wired differently. Psychologically speaking, they operate on the introverted side of the dominance hierarchy, outside the typical alpha-beta structure. They observe more than they speak, and when they finally do speak, they go for depth over decorum. So when a woman sits down expecting a polite, what do you do for fun? Or she's thrown off balance by, when was the last time you cried? It's jarring, but it's also refreshing. In a world dominated by surface-level conversation and performance dating, Sigma males offer something rare: authenticity. This isn't about being weird for attention. It's about emotional efficiency. Studies in psychology show that vulnerability fosters connection. People are more likely to form lasting bonds when they engage in meaningful conversations early on. That's where the Sigma thrives. He doesn't date for fun, he connects for purpose. These conversations leave a mark. They stir emotions most people bury beneath filters, emojis, and polite nods. A Sigma can make someone feel more understood in 30 minutes than others do in 3 months. Why? Because he asks questions that matter and he listens, and yes, it's unforgettable. Whether or not the relationship goes anywhere, most women remember the Sigma, not because he was flashy or charming, but because he made them something real. That's the Sigma way. Skip the fluff, get to the soul. Number 7, being unapologetically mysterious. What does he do all day? Women wonder. Why won't he post more? Why won't he explain himself? Here's the truth. He's not hiding. He's just not oversharing. Sigma males are like black holes, not in the destructive sense, but in their silent magnetic presence. Just as a black hole has gravity so strong that it draws everything toward it without saying a word, A Sigma male pulls attention without even trying. He's dense with meaning, filled with substance, but you'll only get close if you're meant to. In a society addicted to exposure, where people document everything from their breakfast to their emotional breakdowns, the Sigma's silence is revolutionary. According to psychology studies on personality archetypes, Sigma males fall outside the traditional dominance hierarchy. They're lone wolves, not because they can't lead, but because they don't need validation from a pack. This refusal to explain himself isn't a game, it's his nature. He's built for depth, not display. Instead of crafting a highlight reel for social media, he might be reading, building a business, training, meditating, or simply reflecting, living with intention, not just reaction. That kind of restraint provokes curiosity and sometimes irritation. Because in the age of oversharing, mystery is uncomfortable. People feel entitled to access, to updates, to explanations. But the Sigma male doesn't owe the world a running commentary on his life. He operates in the shadows, not to be elusive, but to protect what matters. Time, focus, peace. These are his currencies, and he spends them wisely. So when people ask, why won't he post more, they're really asking, why doesn't he need the same attention I do? And the answer is simple. He's not performing, he's living. He's not afraid of being misunderstood, because being understood isn't his mission. The Sigma male isn't unknowable because he's hiding. He's unknowable because he's whole, and not everyone gets access to that. Number 8. He calls out games, then walks away. Sigmas aren't confrontational by nature. However, when manipulation appears, whether it's guilt trips, jealousy tactics, or subtle digs, they immediately recognize it. Unlike many who might get drawn into the drama, Sigmas calmly address the issue and then walk away. There's no yelling or emotional explosions. Instead, they might simply say something like, "I don't play games," and exit with quiet confidence. This reaction can be surprising to women who use emotional games to test interest or control dynamics. Sigmas don't engage with these tactics because they reject unnecessary conflict and chaos. Psychologically, they prefer emotional stability and honesty, valuing transparency over manipulation. They are wired for clarity and straightforwardness, which makes emotional theatrics unbearable to them. In relationships, this means Sigmas foster genuine connections, rather than drama-filled interactions, which ultimately earns them respect and preserves their peace of mind. Sigmas, these 8 weird traits aren't flaws, they're freedom codes. They provoke because they challenge what's normal. They irritate because they reveal truth. In a world that wants conformity, your rebellion is refreshing, so embrace it. Let women be intrigued, confused, or even frustrated. That's not your burden, that's your impact. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out. So Sigmas, if these traits resonate, hit that like button, subscribe, and join this rising community of independent minds. Live boldly, love intentionally, and let your weirdness work. Stay true and stay Sigma.